Hi, and thank you for taking the time to view the CRS Notify system. This is a very informal demo because we just want to really show you how the system works and how it works for your facility and get down to the nuts and bolts of it. So whether you signed up for a free trial, whether you purchase a software, or whether you're deciding whether you want to, here's what happens. You fill out a quick form, takes about a minute, and you get immediate access to your own cloud-based management portal. And you can always access that through communityresponsesystems.com and going to the login screen at the top right. So once you fill out that quick form, it has built the system for you and you have availability to the CRS Notify system and you can start deploying it. So now we're going to kind of show you how to deploy it and how it works from this point on so you can see how simple the process is. The Getting Started guide will show you what we're going to do now and walk you through it in a little bit more details, but we're going to cover the basics. The first thing you need to know is that everything you need to operate the CRS Notify system is available for you right here. There's nothing additional to purchase. The first thing you'd want to do is install the CRS Server 1.8. You only need one of those per location and you can put it on a workstation or a server. We recommend a server. Once you've installed it, you're able to use the same username and password that you used to create the account and start your local server. It will find your IP address and it will connect you to the CRS network with your location information. If for some reason there's no connection, go to the support tab and see if your firewall ports are open for that. It's a very simple process. But once you've done this, you can minimize this or close it out however you want to, or it runs as a service. But this is what prevents you from having to purchase anything additional, and it has safety nets in place to ensure system stability and functionality, and it also lets you have a lot more control over your own system, and we'll show you how. So once you've done that and you've logged in, you can install the Windows client on any computer you want to turn into a panic button. Once you've created the users, they can log onto the dashboard and they stay logged in until you decide you want to manually log them out. And it drops their tray icon. So what happens is you install this, they log in, the CRS server interlinks your buttons together and it creates an interlinking panic button system on your network. Now it only is like 4 megabytes in install and it only pulls data when there's an alert raised, so there's no strain on your network and it's all encrypted. So once you've done that and your end users need to use a system, so here's how simple it is. By using their computer mouse, they can left click and have the availability to raise a blue alert or a red alert. How that goes is how you decide you want it to go. But all they need to know is there's 2 buttons right here and they can manage where this is at on their own personal setting. Now what happens when these buttons are hit is totally how you want to build it. So let's go into that for just a second. So once you go to your user section, you will see that when you create an account, your name and your information is already there. You can add additional computer user panic buttons in your client users and use those usernames to log onto the system and they stay logged in. You can assign them to the blue and red high-low alert levels as you see right here. So you can have 2 alert levels. We kind of consider the blue to be a low-level internal alert, maybe disgruntled employee in the HR department, disgruntled patron by the reception computer, and you only need a few key people to be alerted before the problem escalates. And then a red level would be if some situation does escalate, you can have your red level alert. But really you can decide however you want to do that for your facility, but it can be designed that way. So let's say we have it designed for, we're a receptionist and we have it designed the blue to be a low level alert for our staff or key people, whatever. So here we can decide who gets alerted on a low level via computer right here, phone calls, emails, and text messages. So you can decide who gets a low level alert, who gets a high level alert, and who gets both, and which method you want them to be alerted. Whether it's a phone call or a text message or an email, you get to decide. So that's available for you right here, and you can go ahead and start raising alerts. So in this situation, we are John, and we are the 2nd floor by the water fountain, and that is a free-form text box that you can put in for each individual user if you would like. All I need to do is I can hit either button and the alert will go out, and it's not a problem. But I want to expand this room out to let you see it. And I also have another computer beside me that would be in another office or maybe on the other side of the campus, wherever, that's going to be the recipient of an alert. It's an audible pop-up sound for their computer. We don't have time to type anything in here. We don't have to. All we need to do is just hit raise alert. A phone call is being placed, as you see in the off-white. That's not important, but that person has received this information and your text messages have gone out as well.
Alert, alert, alert. Please send help as soon as possible. CRS demo location, 323 First Street North, Alabaster.
It will say it twice before hanging up, and if I did have time to put an alert description in there, it would also be in the automated voice call as well, whatever that text is. Your phone call, or your emails and your text recipients see the same information here as well as your other computer users. Now, this becomes an alert chat room, so you can actually centrally communicate with this. But let's say we don't want the bad guy to see it. You can always exit out of it, and the alert room stays active in the background. But I can walk over to another computer and have them respond if they want to, if they have time, or maybe you're in a lockdown situation and you need to communicate out. So we had Grayson in the daycare wing say that she's on her way. This is also sent out as an additional text message and or email to anyone that's set to receive a low-level alert. Let's say the situation escalates to a high level, it's always available for us to go to the high-level situation and the high-level recipients done. Let's say the problem's been handled, we can put in there handled and hit enter and it goes out to everyone, or we don't have to, it's not a big deal. That's how you want to do it yourself. And once we have this alert room is done, we can just end the alert and it clears it across the workstations. So we can resize it. Let's say we just want to leave it like this, and that's where it's at. So let's say we had another user raise an alert, and let's say it's a high level alert, but we don't want our computer to make an audible sound because maybe the computers are right beside each other, or maybe in the next office and they may hear it. Not a problem. You can just right click, and this is on a per user setting. You can mute the sounds. So it'll just be the pop-up alert set to the size that they have for their computer. So while we're doing that, I'm also going to show you this. We have the red and blue button hardware, and you can have those be plugged into the USB port of any workstation operating CRS Notify, and it works. The user can still raise an alert using their computer mouse by default, but if they want to add the hardware button, that's an additional way that they can do it. We have wireless and we have stationary mountable ones available for you. So let's say Grayson has one in her computer. So she can raise an alert, and what that does is it raises the alert for them and makes that alert description for them. So we have Grayson with her red button saying this and her blue button saying this. We can assign those to alert levels, so the red button's high, blue button's low, which follows suit with the alert room. But you can decide that however you want. If you have E911 integrated with this, the E911 calls will only go out on high alerts if you have it built into the system. So we're going to minimize this. We're just doing our thing at work. We're working on the computer, and Grayson has a problem in the daycare wing. She hits that button, it automatically conveys this message, and this is also sent out in your automated calls. Your text recipients see this, and we can communicate. We can say in lockdown. This is sent out as an additional text message and or email to the users in the system. I can minimize this. It's always available for me, like I said right there. We can minimize it. Let's close this window. We're in a lockdown. Any medical situation, any situation that we have, we can update it. Again, the initial alert showed who raised it, what the problem was, their location. Any correspondence in there after is also in there. Everything is date and time stamped, and again, it's encrypted. So once this is alerts done, any manager who has access to the cloud portal can just end the alert for all the workstations, and there you go. So we can just minimize this, and we have some other cool features with the hardware buttons on stacking alerts and all that good stuff, and it's available in the user guide. We also have a video training library for deployment, training your end users. We have a policy template, so you can have a policy on the use of the system for your facility. But when it's all said and done, your users need to know they have a blue button and a red button they can hit if they need assistance. If for some reason the internet goes down, there's connectivity, our system will still work on the local network with some restrictions, but the locations down notifications is a preventative measure to let you know that if the internet is down, that there's a problem with the system as a preventative measure. You're not surprised, and worst case, the system auto restarts up. Worst case, it doesn't restart. It just go back to that one machine, and you can stop your service and restart it from one place, and it will reset it for all of your computers company-wide. If you need to go back and review the alerts of the past, everything is documented in here, so you can show any investigation needed for that. It's available for you here. So here's the thing, is if you have a blue alert for a low level, that you can handle the situations before they escalate. If it does escalate, you can always go to the high level, and it lets people be aware of the situation as it's happening. This is a CRS Notify system at its most basic point. We also have built in some other cool features about connecting networks together. We also can, if you have multiple locations spread across the United States, the world, we have a way that you can manage all of those locations from one login. It's a very simple process, and you can always control this system from the cloud through our encrypted situation we have here. So again, this is a CRS Notify system. If you have any questions, please feel free to let us know. Sign up for a free trial, give it a test spin. We'd love to hear your feedback. If you need any clarification, please feel free to let us know. And again, thank you for your time.